settling into the breath and into your body, checking in, a little head to toe scan, seeing how everything's feeling this afternoon before we start to move around. And let's take a moment here. I've been working with intentions this week. Every once in a while, I like to do that. So just take a moment here to just think of an intention, something you want to bring more of into your life. Make sure it's positive and it's present tense. So maybe I am calm if you're feeling a little anxious, or I am happy if you're feeling a little sad. Just sort of bring in whatever you need to bring in, just with your words. And sometimes saying that to yourself really does help and really does bring those things to you, or sometimes you realize you already have them. You just have to tap in a little. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk the hands back towards the legs. Bring your knees together. We're going to come to kneeling. We're going to give the feet a little stretch. So curling those toes under, and maybe curling them under is enough for you. Or if you want to sit back on the heels and make it a little deeper, you can. Inhale, lift your shoulders up. Exhale, soften them down and back. So if it becomes too much on the feet, you can just uncurl them. We're going to do our 3-part breath here. So try to focus on your breath and forget about your feet. Big inhale through the nose, fill the lungs from the bottom, middle, and top. And then exhaling from the top all the way down. Inhale again, fill those lungs all the way up, bottom, middle, top. Exhale, let the air pour out from the top all the way down. Good job. One more big breath in, fill those lungs, breathe into the belly deeply. Exhaling from the top all the way down. Good. We're going to come off of the toes, uncurl them. Now you can spread them out a little bit so you're sitting a little in between. If you want to grab one of the blocks and sit on that, or if this is horribly uncomfortable, just swing your legs around. So from here, we're going to warm up our neck. So drop your chin to your chest, and then gently start to rock your head side to side. Slow little neck rolls, loosening up all those muscles in the upper back, the neck, and the shoulders. And then start falling into that nice ujjayi breath. Rolling over to the right ear, to the right shoulder, and we're going to stay there. And you can bring your hands up if you want to deepen that stretch a little bit. And now let's roll it over to the left side and bring the left hand up and deepen the stretch on that side. Back to the middle, chin to the chest. Good, and then bring the head back up and we'll roll our shoulders next. Inhale as you lift them up. Exhale as you drop them down. Big, slow, deliberate circles, matching movement to breath. Letting everything else relax and soften. Good, now change your direction, go the other way. Again, some big, slow circles. Good, and then we let the shoulders relax. Now spine is going to warm up, so staying in kneeling for now. We're going to inhale and arch. If you need to swing the legs around, you can. Exhale and round. Inhale, pull your heart forward, press your shoulders back, arch that upper back. Exhale and round, tuck the tailbone, drop the head and the shoulders. A couple more, inhaling, arching. Exhaling, rounding. Good, and then the last one, we'll inhale and arch. Exhale and round. Coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to lean forward now. We can take that block out if you have it there, and you're going to kick your feet over to the right side, and we're going to sit on the left side. If you need a block, if your hips are tight, bring that block over. Put it under your left hand so you have something to press into. Otherwise, your fingertips are just going to be alongside of your hips. Inhale, stretch up tall. Then exhale, walk your right hand away from your feet. As far as you can go to, till you feel a big stretch in the left side. And then we're going to take that left arm up and over. Or you can keep it down on the floor and just press into the block. Inhale, imagine you're filling your left arm up with air. And then on your exhale, feel yourself softening into that space you create with that inhale. Turn your gaze just a little bit towards the ceiling so that top elbow stays pressed back so you don't turn this into any kind of forward fold. And then just keep moving with the breath. So let the inhale lift you up and out a little, and the exhale makes the space for you to settle in. Finding that space, that little bit of area for softness. And then we're going to inhale and come up. We're going to take a little twist. So your left hand is going to drop behind your hip, your right hand to the outside of that left leg. Press into the back hand. So inhale, get really tall. And then exhale, turn your shoulders first, then your gaze, and look out over your left shoulder. Then as you breathe in, press into the back hand to get a little taller. And as you breathe out, take the shoulders with you to twist a little deeper. Get that little ujjayi breath going at the back of the throat. Keep the shoulders soft and relaxed. Take one more inhale here. Then when you exhale, you're going to come back to facing the front. Good. Let's do a little bound angle in between, and then we'll switch sides. So bottoms of the feet together. Knees are going to be out wide. When you first start, maybe a little dynamic move, maybe a little flapping of your wings. Or you can just hold them steady. But it's nice to sort of add a little bit of movement. I feel like that helps loosen them up a little more. Then hold on to your toes, your ankles, your calves, whatever you can reach. If your knees are way up here, if you're having a hard time, then slide them forward a little bit. That'll give you a little more space. Inhale, stretch up tall, get your back nice and straight. And then exhale, keep that back perfectly straight as you come forward. So forget that sort of rounding and trying to get your forehead or your nose towards your feet. Keep your back nice and straight. That gives you a safer and a better stretch. And then you can use your elbows to press those legs down. They'll also help you keep your back straight. If you notice one knee sticks up higher than the other, just give that side a little bit more attention. We want to try to balance the sides out with our practice. That's extremely helpful from a yoga standpoint and also just a functional standpoint. You'll notice if one side is tighter, that's the side that always gets injured. And it will start in your foot, in your knee, in your hip. You can even have an injury on the same shoulder that you have an injury on your foot on that same side. So it's interesting how the sides really do affect each other. And then we're going to come up nice and slowly, bring the knees together, and now we're going to take the feet over to the left, sitting on that right hip. They can stack, they can stagger, you can keep them in front if this is very difficult for you. Hands line up with the hips, inhale, get tall, exhale, now the left fingers walk away from the toes. Take them far enough so you feel that big stretch in your right side, and then the right arm comes up or your hand stays on a block. Inhale, get longer, exhale, and take the gaze towards the ceiling. Good, and then you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open. Don't strain your neck, but keep inhaling and getting longer through the right side and exhaling and softening over to the left. You want a nice curve through the right side of the body, not a hard lean. Good. Taking that gaze up a little. One more inhale here. On our exhale, we're going to come up and we're going to add a little twist to this side. So right hand behind the hip, left hand to the outside of the leg. Press into that back hand. Inhale, get tall. Exhale and turn. Keeping that back long and straight. Keep reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling as you turn so that the back stays straight the whole time. And then just settling into the breath and try to send your breath to anything that feels tight, so that it'll loosen up a little bit. And your thoughts too, like use your thoughts to loosen up those muscles. One more inhale here. And we're exhaling, coming back to the front. Good, okay. Let's come down for our bridge now. So bring your legs out to in front of you and grab one of your blocks. You're gonna put that block between the thighs. And we're gonna hold on to the backs of the legs and come on down nice and slow. Good, so walk your heels up towards your fingertips so that you can touch them with the fingertips. Take a big inhale, squeeze the block, press the backs of the arms into the floor, and then float those hips up towards the ceiling. Then on your exhale, we're lowering down nice and slow. We're going to do that a couple of times and then we'll hold. Inhale again, squeeze and lift. Press the arms, squeeze the block, float the hips up. Exhale, come down nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Good, this last one we're gonna hold. So inch your heels up, make any adjustments you need to. Take a big inhale, back to the arms, press first to your sternum lift. Then we squeeze the block and lift the hips. Interlacing the fingers underneath if you'd like, pinky side into the hands, press into the floor, holding the edges of the mat. You can bend the elbows or you can just keep your hands down by your side, palms down. So lots of options for the arms. Just try to keep those shoulder blades squeezing together. Keep the block, giving that a nice even squeeze between the upper thighs and the bottoms of the knees, or the inside of the knees rather, so that you get squeezing evenly on that block the whole way down. And you get that upper back working a little bit. Chin is just slightly away from the chest. Soften your jaw and your forehead. And then the last thing to practice here is to keep yourself present. So use all those little tools I just gave you, all those little cues. Keep working on them so that you can keep yourself right here with your breath, with your shape you're making, with your body. We're going to hold for about 15 seconds more. Keep squeezing and lifting. Keep yourself here. Don't time travel. Don't let your mind run away with you. Inhaling, we're going to lift a little bit higher. Slide your hands out if they're underneath you. And then exhaling, coming down nice and slowly, lowering that spine down gently to the floor. Take the block out. Hug those knees in. Little rock side to side. Give the head a little rock side to side too. Good. Okay, let's do a little bit of belly. We're going to do single leg stretch. We'll do double leg, or we'll do some different variations, and then we'll just finish with some crunches. So drop your feet back to the floor. Scoop that belly. Draw the navel to the spine. Lift from the pelvic floor all the way up. Then bring your legs up to tabletop. Point the toes. Head and shoulders lift. You're going to hold the right leg. Left shin comes to the front. Right hand, or left hand comes to the right shin, and then right hand comes behind the right knee. And then we're going to switch. Here we go. 1, go nice and slow. 2, 3. Good. Take your time here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Now heels down. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Hug them in, take a rest. All right, we're just going to do 10 as a double leg stretch. So scooping the belly, head and shoulders lift, legs hug in, hands to shins. We're going to stretch them out and hug them in. Watch your low back. 1, don't go too far. 2, head can stay down. 3, your neck is not ready for this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. Good. Drop your head, take a little rest, rock them side to side. All right, we're just going to finish up with some crunches. So you're going to grab a block, you're going to put it back between the thighs. You can put it long ways or across, whichever way works better. And we're going to interlace the fingers, hands behind your head and neck. We're going to do plank crunches. So for the first set, feet stay down, hands behind the head. We take a big inhale. On our exhale, we're going to roll the shoulders up. And then we're going to come 3/4 of the way down and then roll them up again. Okay, so here we go. 1, try to keep your shoulders floating the whole time. 2, keep your elbows nice and wide. 3, your neck stays straight. 4, so your chin is not bending towards your chest. 5, and then give that block a little squeeze. 6, every time you roll up. 7, doesn't have to be a big move. 8, really focus on your belly. 9, and keeping your neck relaxed. 10, just 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a little break. Drop it down. And then we're going to go to one side. So hands back behind the head. Now we're going to lift and we're going to turn towards the right leg. We're going to keep squeezing that block. So lift your head and shoulders up. Take a big inhale. On your exhale, turn towards that right leg and then come down. So here we go. We're not going all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, use your weight, squeeze that block, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, drop it down, take a little break. It's the worst tickle in my throat. All right, here we go, other side. Big inhale, exhale, lift and turn to the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, squeezing the waist, squeezing the block. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, counting down. 10, good work. 9, hang in there. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Drop it down. All right, we just have low belly. I'm going to give you the option. You can add upper abs if you want to lift your head and shoulders too. Otherwise, you just want to lift the feet. You can straighten out the legs. You can keep your knees slightly bent. You're going to roll your knees towards your chest. If you want upper abs, you're going to lift your shoulders up too. All right, here we go. 1, last set. 2, last 20. Focus on low belly. 3, 4, and squeezing that block. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good work. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Good work. Okay, that was a lot of abs for gentle yoga, but whatever. Take the block out. Give it a big stretch. Point your toes. Stretch those arms over your head. You can rock your knees a little side to side. Up that low back. Rock your head side to side. And then when you're ready, come up. Have some water. I'm going to try to get rid of that tickle. It's driving me nuts. And then we're going to bring our blocks up to the front edge so that they're there, because I'll forget otherwise. So just bring them up. You can finish them, finish your water. If I don't think of it, if I don't say it the second I think of it. If you need any knee padding, you can grab one of those knee things. We're going to do some kneeling, or you can just double up your mat. And we're going to start with wrists under shoulders and knees into your hips. We're going to do some cat-cow. So get that alignment. Then when you're ready, your inhale is an arch, pull your heart through your shoulders. Your exhale is a round, tucking the tailbone, dropping the head and the shoulders. And then just keep moving through those cat-cows, arching and rounding. And it can slowly turn into something maybe a little different. Maybe you're going to look over your shoulders eventually and stretch the side body out a little. Maybe you want to do some circles, coming all the way back and then all the way forward. Maybe just bending the elbows. You can even turn your hands around if you want a little wrist stretch. That feels really good if you do a lot of typing, if you're on that computer all day. So play a little bit here. See what feels good. See what your body needs. And then we're going to eventually meet in child pose again. So toes together, you can spread the knees out. You can keep your knees together if you like it better that way, and then stretch those arms out to begin, and then they can come down by your sides, especially if your shoulders hurt. And then just restate that intention again. And if it's changed a little, then it's changed a little. That's fine. And then also take a moment just to pay attention to how your body feels. As we move through the practice, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. Because that's a good life practice too, right? Seeing where you're feeling things, how you're feeling things emotionally, physically, all energetically, spiritually. There's so many different layers to us. Good. And then we're going to come back up to table. And we're going to do that little sunbird stretch and a little sunbird balance. You're going to take your right foot out behind you. I'm just going to come sideways. Plug the big toe mound into the mat. Good. And then once you push that heel down, you're going to feel your shoulders creep up a little bit, so keep them back. You're also going to feel your belly might dip a little, so draw your navel to the spine. So there's 2 points here when you're in this position. So this is sort of almost a half plank, right? Because we have one knee down. A couple of things that happen that you should always watch for in the plank. Number one, you get some hollowness between the shoulder blades, where your chest just starts to dip and you sag in. And people that do that, and lots of people do it, wind up developing shoulder problems, because when you're doing that, you're hanging out in all your shoulder ligaments and you're stretching, you're overstretching them. So you don't want to do this. You want to press your sternum up just like you push your navel up, so that you have a little protraction in the upper back. So pay attention to what you're doing there, because that's important. It's an important part of your practice, especially if you practice a lot, because you're doing it a lot then. Okay, now we're going to take that right foot up. Enough of the shoulder lecture, and you're going to shift your weight to your right hand. We're going to stretch that left arm out in front. So the thumb side of your hand towards the ceiling, the bicep runs alongside of your ear. If you can get it there, if your shoulders are tight, maybe that's not happening. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, press your right heel down and reach your left fingertips forward to get as long as you can. Draw the navel to the spine so you stay steady and still. On the inhales, we get a little shorter. On the exhales, we lengthen. So the inhales, we're settling in. The exhales, we're finding that space for 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful. Now the hand comes down and the knee lowers down gently. Switching sides. Now left foot comes out. Follow the foot on the floor. Press the heel down. The biggest part of the stretch you'll feel with this guy is your calf muscle, but try to get it down the whole leg. And then repeat, drawing the navel to the spine. So imagine I came underneath you and I poked you in the belly button, and then the sternum. So both things press up to support the spine. Press that heel down a little further, and then we're going to lift it up. I just want to hold it for one more breath here, because we held the other side while I was talking to you for a little bit longer. Good. Now when you're ready, we're going to take it up. Keep the heel down. Just hip height. If you go too high, you're going to tilt forward. Keep your hips squared towards the mat. Shift your weight to your left hand. Now the right hand comes out. Thumb side of the hand towards the ceiling. Bicep runs alongside of the ear. Take a big inhale, on your exhale, reach forward with your fingertips and back with your heel. For 3 and 2 and 1. Good work. Lower the hands, lower the knee. Walk your hands forward a couple of inches. Curl your toes under. We're going to come up to downward facing dog. Sinking into those heels, wake up the back of the legs. You can go wider if your hamstrings are tight. You can use the blocks under your hands if you'd like. Tight hamstrings calls for really deep knees, maybe a wide stance, right? We're not forcing those hamstrings to straighten. We're not locking those knees. That won't do you any good whatsoever. You have to sort of ease in, keeping it smooth and soft. You can pedal those feet for a little bit and then just try to let them settle down. Push the floor away by using your thumb mound, your fingers, the pinky side edge of the hands, not all wrists. Spin the biceps forward when you do that. When you try to turn your biceps towards the front edge of the mat, feel what happens to your shoulders and your upper back. You'll feel it tighten up and get stronger rather than hanging out in it. Then look between the hands. We're going to slowly walk those feet up towards your hands. That happens on our inhale. Our exhale, we're going to fold forward over the legs. Come forward again. Inhale, take your halfway lift. If you need your blocks, grab your blocks, rest your hands on your blocks for your halfway lift, look forward and up. Exhale, fold back down, softening the knees. And then we're going to bend the knees as we roll all the way up to stand. Come up, slow your head lift down. You might be a little dizzy. We're going to take those arms up overhead. Exhale, take a back bend, big or little. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale the hands down to the heart. Good. Grab another sip of water. I'm going to turn this down again. Now it's getting too cold. Grab some water. We're going to do a couple standing poses. We don't want 78. That we definitely don't want. All right, so come to the top edge of your mat. Let's do a couple little standing poses. Keep your blocks there so they're handy because we're going to need them. Feet hip width apart. Starting in mountain pose, inhale, lift those shoulders up. Exhale, take them down and back. Palms turn slightly forward. We're going to keep the right foot forward, take a big step back with the left foot. Let's start with warrior one. So just step it straight back. So your hips and shoulders are going to aim towards me. And then we're going to put a nice deep bend in your right knee. That's going to pull you forward a little bit, right, when you bend that knee. So shift some weight to that back heel. That's where you're going to get a nice stretch, right, when you try to shift back a little. And then when you're ready, when your feet feel steady, inhale the arms up. Good. Back heel is down. Perfect. Keeping everything. So this is a tricky one. It's not one of my favorite poses, actually, because you're turning your hips and shoulders towards the front edge. So you got that back heel down. It's a weird angle on your back hip. So don't force it. And if it's really hard for you to try to turn your hips forward, step that back foot over to the side a little bit. So step it more to the left edge of your mat. You don't want to be lined up heel to arch. Although technically, I think Iyengar would have you that way. Then take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Reach up nice and tall. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to straighten the front leg up. Then on our exhale, you're going to pretend there's two rings on the ceiling. You're going to grab them and you're going to pull them down. But just to stretch that upper back and strengthen. Inhale. Exhale, pull them down. Inhale. Exhale. One more, breathe in and reach up. Exhale, breathe and sink down. Take one more inhale, let's stretch them up, and then on our exhale, let's open to warrior two. So your hips and shoulders are going to open towards the back wall. Now wiggle your feet around so you line up heel to arch. This one you do want the legs lined up. You want a nice deep bend in the right knee, strong, steady arms, back leg stay straight and strong. Then peek down at your front knee and make sure it lines up with your second and your third toe and it's not leaning in. So you want this knee basically pushing towards the pinky side edge of your foot. Then we're going to take a peek at the left femur and see if that is sort of dipping forward, and if it is, just press it back a little bit. In other words, engage the glutes on the back hip, right? Squeeze your glutes together. That'll squeeze that glute, that back butt cheek muscle, and that'll pull that hip in. Then take your gaze down the middle of the front hand, soften the shoulders. Take a moment to tap into the energy and the strength of your body and the pose and your breath. Beautiful. Reversing the warrior, dropping the back hand, front arm flips up and over. You can take a side stretch or a back bend, up to you. Don't lose that bend in the front knee, so try to keep your front knee bent at least a little bit as you take it up and over. And again, use that breath. On your inhale, feel yourself getting longer. On your exhale, sinking a little further back. Beautiful. Press into your feet. As we inhale, come up. We're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to take triangle pose next. So get your block handy if you need it. Bring it right to the inside. You can put it nice and high right on the inside. Even if you need two, if you have a hard time, stack them up. Okay, arms are straight. Palms are facing out. Inhale, get both sides of the body equally long. And then exhale, reach forward and slowly down. Right hand can come to the block, to the inside of the foot, to the inside of your shin. I don't care. It doesn't matter how far it goes. Try not to fold forward. So try not to take it to a forward fold. Keep yourself nice and open. And then slowly take your gaze up to that top thumb without cranking your neck too much. So you can look down or even straight ahead if that hurts your neck. I'd actually rather you do that because it's a big turn of the head to do that. Now this stretch you should feel in your left hip and behind your right leg, but your right leg should not be hyperextended. So there should be a little softness. That's tricky. Soften your right knee as we inhale and come up nice and slow. We're going to take reverse triangle. So this means the front leg stays straight this time as you take the front arm up and over. And this should feel like a really nice stretch. This is one of my favorites. Taking the gaze up or sideways or play with both. Protect your low back. Use your belly to protect the low back. Beautiful. And then press into your feet as you inhale and come up. We're going to take both arms overhead. Exhale, bend the front knee. Take your hands down to either side of that front foot. Spin onto the ball of the back foot and then just lower your back knee. So we're going to lower the left knee down. You want to double up your mat under that left knee. Feel free. And then grab your blocks if you have them. Hands on either side of the foot. We're going to move in and out from the runner's lunge. So your hands and fingertips can be on the floor or on the blocks. Inhale, coming forward. Dropping the hips, lifting the heart. Exhale, take it back. We're gonna move in and out a few times. Inhale, low lunge, hips drop, heart comes forward. Exhale, roll it back. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. One more. Inhale. And exhaling it, taking it to the runner's lunge, and we're going to hold. So if you feel like you're falling too far back, bring that leg, slide it up a little bit. If you need padding on that back, you double your mat up a little bit. Lift your heart and your gaze. Good. And look forward, not down. Beautiful. Nice job. And stay with your breath. So you gauge how deep this stretch is. Do not overdo it. But make sure it's enough to really hold your attention. So that focus, your focus right now should just be on that stretch. Good. And the breath stays steady. Soften your shoulders. Make sure you're not tensing up those shoulders. We're going to hold it a little longer just to give the hamstrings enough time to really stretch out. And then we'll switch sides. Good, and then the next inhale, we're gonna bend the knee, bring that foot down, slide it back a little bit. Keep your left hand on the mat, take your right hand to that knee and do some little circles. Just lightly, don't press hard on the knee, just circle it all the way around. Good, and then you can heel pull your right foot over a little bit so it's more on the edge of the mat, and just press on the inside of your right thigh and take a turn towards the ceiling. So you just don't let that fall out. You can even roll onto the edge of your right foot if you want, as you press it away. And you turn and look up, opening the inside of the hip. Let your hips just sort of fall down. Good. Then we'll flatten that foot out. Bring your hand down. Nice job. Step it back to table. Walk your hands up a little bit again. So we're set up for down dog. Curl the toes under. Plug into the thumb mound and the pinkies. Spin the biceps forward. Press the heels down and back with the head hang between the arms, but without concaving the upper back. So keep a little protraction there. Look between your hands. Take your time as you inhale and walk the feet up. We're going to exhale and fold forward over the legs. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Use the blocks if you need to. Exhale, fold back down. Bend those knees as we inhale and roll up slowly to stand. Stretch the arms all the way up overhead. Reach up tall. Exhale, take a back bend. Inhale, come back to the center. Interlace your fingers, index finger up. Exhale, take it over to the left. Keep your head between the arms, anchor through the legs. Imagine or pretend you're standing on one strong leg. Get a whole side body stretch, not just upper body. And then press into your feet as you inhale and come up. So exhale and take it to the other side. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale the hands down to your heart. Good. Now we're keeping the left foot forward. We're going to take a big step back with the right. Just step it straight back. So again, your feet are staggered. You're not lined up heel to arch for this guy. Warrior one with the left foot forward. Get your feet squared away. Back foot's at about a 45-degree angle. There's a nice bend in the front knee. Draw the navel to the spine, and then when you're ready, float those arms out and up. And then on your exhale, just get the sense of sort of softening and sinking into the pose. Beautiful. Finding a bend in that front knee, finding your footing here, some softness in the neck and the jaw and the forehead. We're going to add a little movement this time. We're just going to swing the arms. So on our inhale, just straighten your legs. On your exhale, just swing those arms back, break and float them back. And then inhale, take them all the way up. Just open up the shoulders. Exhale down. And this helps open the lungs. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, take those arms up and holding our warrior one. Sink down into the hip and knee. Big breath in. As you breathe out, open to two. So your hips and shoulders now are going to face the back wall. And we're going to line up a little bit heel to arch. Gazing down the middle of the left hand. And find your depth here. So find a nice bend in that front knee. It doesn't have to be crazy, but a little bit of a bend. And then peek down at your knee. Make sure it's lining up. Second and third toe. It's not leaning in. It's pressing on. Everybody looks good. Back leg is straight and strong. This femur is spine always likes to sneak forward, so press it back, squeeze your glutes. Reach through the fingertips, find some strength in those arms and a little bit of softness in the shoulders. And then check in with your breath. Take it a little deeper if you need a little bit more. And then we're going to reverse it. So back hand drops, front arm comes up and over. Try not to straighten out your front knee too much. A little bit is okay. Side stretch or back bend, stay with the breath. Open up the side body here, but keep the lower half of your body firm, steady, grounded. Good, and then we're pressing into the feet. Inhaling as you come up, we're straightening the front leg. Palms face the back wall. We're going to transition right to triangle. Big inhale, get long on both sides of the body. Exhale, reach forward and then down with the left knuckle. Don't worry about how far down you get. Stay open to the ceiling. Even if the top hand, if your shoulder hurts, take that hand to your hip or drop it behind the thigh. Beautiful. Big stretch in that left leg. Try not to hyperextend it. So keep a little bit of a bend in the knee. It's just a micro bend because you want the stretch, but you don't want it overstretching. Top hip is stretching, gaze is up or straight ahead or even down if you're struggling with the balance. Nice job, you guys. Holding just for another breath or two. Maybe challenge yourself, go a little bit further. Then bend your front knee, press into the feet. Inhale, take yourself all the way up, and then exhale, reverse your triangle. So now front leg is straight, again, not locked. We're leaning back, this top arm reaches up and over. If your shoulder hurts, the elbow can bend, it can stay on your hip. Just really get a sense of the whole left side of your body opening up, all kinds of space created there. Pressing into your feet, inhaling as you come up. We're going to exhale, we're going to windmill the hands all the way down to the floor. So spin onto the ball, the back foot as you come down, and then gently lower your right knee, transitioning into a low lunge. Left foot forward, right foot back, grab blocks if you need them or tense your fingers. Take a big inhale, we're going to bend deep into the knee, drop the hips and lift the heart. And then exhaling, we're taking it back to that runner's lunge. We're going to move in and out and then we'll hold. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, hips drop, heart lift. Exhale, hold it back. And one more. Inhale, bend the knee, drop the hip. Exhale, take it back to the runner's lunge, and we're going to hold there. So forehead reaches forward towards the back of the foot. Rather than thinking nose to knee, think forward. So keep your back nice and straight, even if that's way lifted up. If you need to slide that foot forward a little bit, slide it up. If you feel like you got a little too far back, you need to pad the back knee, you can do that too. And then just using your breath, good, to open up the back of the leg. We're not overdoing it. Sometimes it helps too to tighten the opposite muscle. So here, to the opposite of the hamstrings would be the quad. So you could tighten your thigh up for a second and then release it. You can bend and then go back in, sometimes letting that go. There's a bunch of different techniques to sort of trick the muscles, if you will, to not fire so heavily. If you're feeling a tremendous amount of pain and it's not that big of a stretch, you can play a little bit with some movement and working the opposite muscles. So I always try to do a little bit of a dynamic stretch in there just to get the muscles, to give them a little heads up. All right, one more inhale here, then on our exhale, bending that knee. Nice job. So lift yourself up to slide it back so you have some clearance. Toes together, knees apart, another child's pose. You can take a different variation if you want to bend the elbows and take your hands behind your head this time. Or maybe you slide the hands down by your sides if you hold the bottoms of your feet so your fingers go into the arches and let your elbows drop out to the side. That's a nice upper back stretch because your elbows will just fall out to the side. Restate that intention one more time, again, as if it's already true. Settle into the breath and the body and let the earth take away any negativity. So use this as an opportunity to sort of surrender and let go. An important part of our practice and our lives is just letting go of certain things that are not serving us, that are not helpful to hold on to. Let everything else fade away and just settling into that breath. Good. On our next inhale, we're going to come up. Your hands pretty much should be where they need to be to come up the downward facing dog. Sinking into those heels one last time. Pedal the feet or just sink it back. Press the floor away. See if you notice any difference in the hamstrings from all that stretching we did. And then we'll look between the hands. We're going to walk the feet up towards the hands on an inhale. On our exhale, we're folding forward over those legs. Inhaling, taking a halfway lift. Stay a little lower if you can. Exhale, folding back down. Bending those knees as we inhale and roll all the way back up to stand. Give yourself a minute. You might be a little dizzy. Arms stretch up, reaching up really tall. Exhale, take a back bend. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. Have another little sip of water if you need it. We're going to balance and then we'll come down. We'll do some little seated stretching and relax. Good work, you guys. So feel free to use the wall if you'd like. We're going to start with tree. Feet hip width apart. Let's start on the right side. So shifting your weight to your right foot, taking a training wheel. Or the foot can come inside the calf. Or it can come up inside the thigh. Not on your knees. It's pretty much the only rule with this. I like to fold it over because I should hook it in there. So just do not put your foot on the inside of your knee. And then arms, pretty much whatever position you want. I like to start with them overhead. It's just a little harder, I think. And it just works those shoulders better. You don't have to. Find your focal point, find your drishti, and you just step in and out as much as you need to. Beautiful. Now take your hands out to a T. Try to transition without having to step the foot down to airplane. So we're going to take the knee in front, karate kid first, draw the navel to the spine. Soften the standing leg. Upper body slowly comes forward as the leg comes out behind you. Take your time, don't rush. And don't worry about the height of the back leg. It does not matter. You're still balancing. So don't worry about how high you can get it. So 3, 2, and 1. Coming up nice and slow. Good. Beautiful. Shake it out for a second. And let's switch sides. So now shifting your weight to the left foot, right foot coming up again. Anywhere you want to go. Give your brain and your body a chance to like connect, okay? So shift the weight first before you just pop that other foot up. So your body knows what's coming. Because your mind knows what it wants to do, but the body, sometimes that connection takes a little bit. So it really does help to shift the weight first. It's a big help with the balance. Arms out to a T. Try to stay on one foot as you take that leg out in front. And then slowly take it through. And again, go slow as you take it through. Don't rush it. No rush. We got plenty of time to get there. The good news is the more that standing leg wiggles, the better. That's good. That's all good stuff. That's all those little stabilizers working, working, working. So I see everybody's legs shaking. When you're ready, slowly come up and down. So that's all good. That's exactly what we want to happen. If you stand there perfectly still, it's not working any of the muscles. So it's great that you can have the balance, but I want all that stuff. You want that stuff to work. All right, let's do one more balance. We're going to do a little balancing beam. So right foot in front of the left. The closer you line your feet up, the closer together they are, the harder it's going to be. So if you stand like this and you're like, no way, just spread them out a little bit. You can even cheat a tiny bit by turning them out. But don't cheat too much. I want it to be hard. So soften your knees, relax your arms. Don't take it too seriously. Step out if you need to. Pretend you're on a balancing beam for now. Good, that little soften. Excellent. All right, now look to your right and then left. Another mirror there. And then look up. And look down. And then bring your head back up and see if you can close your eyes. If you're already having a hard time, maybe just lower your eyelids a little bit. If you feel okay, close your eyes and see how that goes. And then open your eyes and step out. Just in time. All right, switching sides. Left foot in front, right foot behind. Again, soften those knees, surf it a little bit, think skateboard, surfboard. You need that little bit of softness there. It helps tremendously. So don't lock them. Good. Look right, I'll mirror this side, and left, or either way, it doesn't matter. And up, once you turn your head, that makes it 10 times harder. Look down. But we want it functional, right? Realistically, you would be looking all over the place if you were to need to catch yourself from a balance, and then try to close your eyes and lower your eyelids a little bit, depending on how you're feeling. So if you're feeling really wobbly, maybe you just lower them. If you feel pretty steady, close your eyes. So and if you practice at home, 5 minutes a day improves your balance. The better your balance, the way less likely you are to fall. So it's super important. Open your eyes and step out. Good. So if you're practicing at home, please stay near something. Don't do it if you're all alone, or make sure you have your hand on something, and then just keep making it harder and harder. You want that wiggle. All right, let's come down to a little squat. Heels are going to turn in, toes out. Hands to prayer, lowering down nice and slowly, watching those knees and hips on the way down. And remember, you can lift the heels. You're not stuck anywhere in any of these shapes that we make. Don't feel stuck or trapped. Move around a little bit if you need a little movement. Okay, and we're going to sit down here. We're going to do a couple little seated stretches. Watch your low back with the seated stuff. Okay, that's the hardest stuff on the low back. All right, so we're going to keep the right leg extended. The left leg is going to bend. It's going to come to the inside of your right thigh if you can. If that hurts your knee, then stretch it out a little bit. Turn your toes, flex your right foot so your toes are towards the ceiling and your knee aims up. And then inhale your arms up. So lean forward a little bit so you can get on those sit bones. And then exhale, keep your back nice and straight as you fold forward. Don't let the low back round at all. So forget about grabbing your foot. Maybe take your hands to either side of the leg. And then keeping your gaze and your heart up, that'll keep you straighter. Walk your fingertips forward, not down. So walk them towards your foot. That's a big inhale. Then on your exhale, you melt and soften. Good. So don't try to just get yourself into a big ball reaching as far forward as you can. Keep your upper back straight too, and then just think right from here from this hip crease. Inhale, imagine yourself getting longer. On your exhale, softening down. I can't lay on the leg. I've been doing yoga for 15 years at least. It's not happening. I don't care. Who cares, right? Just get a good stretch in the back of the hamstring. You just need it functional. You don't need it hypermobile. And hypermobility as we age is not a good thing, right? We don't want our hips to be super loose. It's important that they stay where they're supposed to stay. Those muscles are there for a reason. They're supporting the hip for a reason. It's a very loose joint. Any of the ball and socket joints, the only worse joint in the hip is the shoulders. So any joint like that is just supported with soft tissue. That's really tough. The hip has a lot more support than the shoulder. Shoulder has nothing but soft tissue. And then we're going to walk the hands back. We're going to stay on the left leg, pull it in as close as you can, and then hug it in with your right arm. It's going to wrap around it. We're going to take a little seated twist. So hug it in nice and close. Press it against your belly. And then take your left hand behind your hip. That's going to keep you straight. So press into the left hand. Inhale, get tall. Exhale and turn towards that bent leg as you hug it in towards your tummy. And that'll stimulate the internal organs. Give them a little squish, shift them around a little bit, send a little blood to them, a little movement. Also a little seated spinal twist. That's why we stay long. Super important that we keep the vertebrae separate when we're turning. And they're a little compressed, so we want to keep it long. So keep lengthening and turning if it feels okay. One more inhale here, and then we'll exhale. We'll come back to the front. Good. Switching legs. So left leg is going to stretch out. Right leg is going to bend. Bring it to the inside of the left thigh or wherever you can go. Flex your feet. Inhale your arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Hinge from the hips. Keep the back nice and straight. Inhale, reach and lengthen again forward. Then exhale, soften down. Good. So think forward first, then down. And then use the breath to help you settle in. Every time you breathe out, see if you can sneak in a little closer, if you get a little bit more. Soften your shoulders, don't let them tense up. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back. Good. Stand up that other leg. So stand the right leg up. Left hand comes around. It's going to hug it in. Get that heel. Get it as close as you can to it. And then drop your right hand behind your hip. Inhale, tall. Press into the back hand. And then exhale and turn and look out over your right shoulder while you hug that right leg in towards your chest and towards your belly. Keep pressing into that backhand for length, maybe turning a little bit further back if you'd like a deeper twist. And then one more inhale here, and we'll exhale and come back to the center. Good, let's take a little bound angle pose, and then we're gonna come down. Bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide. Again, a little movement, or just leaning into it. Notice if the hips feel a little more open here now. Maybe they do, maybe not. Just pay attention. And then we'll come up. We're going to bring the knees together, hold on to the backs of the legs, and take yourself down to the mat. Hugging those knees in when you come down towards your chest. And we'll rock them a little bit side to side, maybe making some little circles. And then we're going to stretch the right leg long towards the bottom edge of your mat, keeping your left knee bent, but you can drop your left foot to the floor for now. Stretch your arms out to a T. And then you're going to keep your left hand out to a T with the palm down. So the left hand is going to sort of help hold you where you are. And then you're going to lift your left foot off the floor. You're going to take your right hand and you're going to hook it to the outside of that left leg. So you're going to grab behind the knee on the left leg. And we're going to slowly roll that left leg over to the right, taking a spinal twist with the knee bent while you've got it hooked. But use your left hand to keep you from going too far, too fast. Okay, so left hand is palm down and that's holding. Go over as far as it feels okay, and then pull the knee towards your chest a little bit, and you'll get a big stretch in your hip too. So you play with the intensity of that. If it feels like too much, you can just bag it and bend both of your knees and just take a spinal twist. I like it. It's a nice hip stretch, but it may not be so great for you, so you decide. Good, and now we're gonna let that leg go first and then bring it back to center and switching sides. So now left leg stretches long, right knee bends, stretch your right arm out to a T with the palm down so you can grip the floor. Then hook your hand behind the right leg rather, and slowly take the right leg over to the left side. Go really slow as you bring it over, and then you can pull it up a little bit to get that hip stretch. And you're looking over your right hand. So it's just another variation of the spinal twist. There's so many variations of this. Stay with the breath. Keep relaxing your shoulders, neck, jaw, any points of tension, wherever you know you hold it. Keep reminding yourself to let go and release, and then we're gonna slowly bring that back to center. Take the hand off of the leg. Let's take a quick happy baby. Wrapping your index and middle finger around your big toes, holding the outside edge of the feet or behind the knees if you can't reach any of those things. I like the outside edge of the feet. That's my favorite place to hold. I don't like pulling on my big toes. I close my toes. And then you can take some movement. You can straighten those legs if you're able to straighten them and still reach them. I have really long arms, so I can do that. Rocking side to side, maybe even rolling a little bit front to back. You want to imagine here, it's just like a squat, right? It's the same position as a squat. So imagine you're squatting on the ceiling. So your feet are pressed against the ceiling, the knees are pressed against the ceiling. Good, and then when you're ready, we're gonna let that go. Bring your feet down to the floor, give them one more little rock side to side. Go ahead and yogi's choice. If there's anything else you want, if you want to keep your feet up, feel free. If you're near the wall and you want to take your shavasana with the feet up the wall, be my guest. Finding whatever shape after you're done taking any little poses you want to take that you're going to finish up with. Take a big breath in, fill your lungs all the way up, and exhale. Big breath out. Inhale again, fill the lungs, bottom, middle, top. Exhale from the top all the way down. And one more, inhale, and exhale. Now just letting your whole body soften and relax. Keeping your attention just on that breath, moving in and out of the lungs. Let everything else fade away. When the thoughts come in and start to pull your attention away from your breath, just gently redirect, guide your attention back to the breath. So just send that thought away, drop it on a cloud and watch it float away, send it on a leaf and watch it float down a stream. So don't engage those thoughts. That's an important part of our practice. Every time you exhale, relax a little further. And get a really calming, peaceful feeling flowing through the body, starting at the top of the head, and then slowly working its way down. Let your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw relax. Soften all the muscles in your neck and your shoulders and your upper back. Imagine that sort of flowing through you, a warm, peaceful, soothing vibe. Spreading down your arms, all the way down your hands to your fingertips. Then imagine that comforting, peaceful energy rolling down the spine so that all the muscles in your back soften and release. Then your hips relax. Thighs, front and back. Soften knees and calves, ankles, feet, all the way to the tips of the toes. Feeling calm and peaceful, still and quiet and deeply relaxed. Start to make some little moves with toes and fingers. Gently rocking your head side to side when you're ready. Take a deep breath in. When you breathe out, stretch those arms overhead. Take a gentle stretch. When you're done stretching, slowly make your way to your favorite side, just curling up there for a little bit longer before you come up. Don't rush. When you land on your side, take a moment to restate that intention again a few more times, again as if it's always already true, present tense, positive. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way up. May you be peaceful and happy. May you experience calm and well-being in your body, your mind, and your spirit. And let's end our practice this afternoon with one little Om. And a little thunder. Namaste. Great job, you guys. Thank you. Good work. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Sounds like it's about to come down.